In this presentation, we will be walking through the celebration and minister of the Sacrament of Holy Orders. We begin with the celebration. First, a bit about the setting. Because the ordained ministers are being called from the church, the people, and are to serve the church and the people, as many of the faithful as possible should be able to attend. To give this particular sacrament an increase in the solemnity of its celebration, it should be on a Sunday so that we might celebrate it on the Lord's Day, the highest liturgy possible. In addition, because the bishop is the celebrant and because these ordained ministers will either serve the bishop or it is for a bishop to be ordained, the cathedral is the proper place. However, often there's an exception when it does not have enough capacity to seat everyone that would attend. And finally, everything should be done to show the proper solemnity of this particular celebration and to increase the solemnity as much as possible. We begin with the initial rites. Taking place within a Mass, everything is normal through the reading of the Gospel. But prior to the homily is when we begin the kind of rite of holy orders. First, there is a presentation of the candidates to be ordained, and then an election, meaning that the bishop essentially approves of who is being brought forth and asks for the people to give their assent to this as well by clapping or showing some kind of form of respect. Then the bishop will usually give some form of instruction towards the candidates about what they are to do. This is essentially the homily. Then there is an examination of the candidates, similar to an examination of conscience or even the exorcism at baptism. It's a series of questions asked of the candidates and whether they assent to these responsibilities. And then finally, the litany of saints, whereby we call on the whole of Christianity, the whole of Christendom, especially the saints in heaven, to intercede on behalf of these persons being ordained. The essential rite of the sacrament is the matter and the form. The matter here is the laying on of hands by the bishop and only a bishop. And the form is the consecratory prayer by the bishop. The prayer is a slightly different and tailored depending upon whether it's a bishop, priest, or deacon being ordained. Last but not least, depending upon who's being ordained or to what degree of holy orders they're receiving, different additional rites go along with that. The bishop and the priest are both anointed, but the bishop receives the book of the Gospels since he is entrusted with the mission of the apostles. In addition, the bishop is given a ring, a mitre, that's his hat, the crozier, that's his staff. He's seated at his cathedra, his chair, and he receives the fraternal kiss of other bishops. The priest is invested with a chasuble. He is anointed as well on the hands, and he receives the gifts, that is the bread and wine, which symbolize that he's able to consecrate the Eucharist. And the deacon is invested with a stole and the dalmatic, that is his outfit that he wears at Mass, and receives the book of the Gospels indicating that he can preach.